All right. Well, we'll work on that. You work on the table.
Build a new set.
Build a new set. And whoever is listening that made the comment on our Spotify about that has music for us for an
Wasn't
intro.
it Corey?
I don't know.
If you
I
can
think it
reach
was
out
Corey.
to us, 'cause
Corey,
we don't
send us
know.
your music, bro.
Corey.
Yeah, we need to reach out to us on
Reach out
Spotify,
on
Instagram,
Yeah.
and then we can connect because
Yeah.
we would love to hear what you make.
You
Yeah.
can send us an email at blacksheeppodcastawake@gmail.com.
Dude, do you want to do that
Do
again?
that again.
You can send us an email at blacksheeppodcastawake@gmail.com.
Nice.
There we go.
Okay.
I didn't know we had an email. Oh,
Today,
right.
Junior.
That's right.
She did it. She did it. Yo, yo.
Boom.
Boom.
Okay. Cool.
Today's episode, level up your marriage. How to level up your marriage.
Crickets.
I didn't make a lot of notes for this, but I've just been in contemplation. Mostly because in my practice, I'm always there's just always trends. There's always trends. I'm always seeing themes.
What is the trend currently?
Well, the majority, the most common one that I see is that women are in their masculine and men are in their feminine. Similar when we had Ashley on and we're, learning with her and talking about the polarization of the energies. And I see women that are overweight, stressed out, taking on full-time work, full-time parenting, household responsibilities, puffy, swollen, inflamed, don't have any time for themselves, and then no sex life.
It's actually so crazy because it's really like 90% of marriages. Like what's the stat on divorces?
Currently in 2024?
Yeah, it's got to be
last year?
like over 50.
In Canada, the States?
Whatever. North America, US, Canada, doesn't
Do
matter.
Canada.
But just out of curiosity, it's got to be over 50%.
Well, in our last episode, we talked about how majority of divorces are initiated by women in their 40s because they're in perimenopause.
Okay, so rate per 1,000 like married persons. In 2020, it was 5.6. Age standardized divorce rate 6.8. 2016, it was 8.6. So it has gone down according to this.
So 8.6% of marriages end in divorce?
Yeah.
I thought it was like half.
I feel
know,
like you
I
gotta
know.
can you just check that again?
Sure.
Check it US, just do US because Canadian, we have a government, in case you didn't know, that's something called communist, and they hide statistics all the time.
Okay, so according to CDC, the current divorce rate is 42%.
Yeah, okay.
That
sounds
that's
more
better.
like
That
it.
sounds more accurate.
Okay, so 42% according to the CDC.
When have you ever said that?
That's why I'm like, according to the CDC. But that's obviously more accurate than whatever that other stupid one was. But I mean, I've said before that I just think it's too easy to get divorced. Like, I do believe that. And that's coming from, I was never married before, but coming from someone in a long-term relationship that ended it. But I do think that it's just so easy. And I also think common law is easy. I think there's something to be said about marriages anyway. So if you've already gotten married, that's already pretty crazy because it's a different level of commitment than it is if you just get into a relationship, get a house with someone and have a kid. Even I know that that's still a commitment in a lot of people's eyes, but I do think that getting married and saying those things and being committed is different than just...
It's sacred union. You're committing to sacred union, which is basically a ceremony for your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And they're your vows, right? Your words carry so much meaning. And when it's an interesting point because I wouldn't have thought that until more recently while us in our marriage, learning more about marriage and how to take care of ourselves and each other in a marriage. And then I wonder if the same weight of commitment and care would be there.
It's not. It's not. Because I've been there and it's not. Because there's always that thought of leaving. I can leave.
Well, it's kind of
I
like
can
the
leave.
avoidant person of
Yeah.
always having your, one foot out the door, like
Right.
always having like that,
Right.
the escape plan.
Right.
And
You never expressed how you felt. Like if you've never done that, if you've never said those things and done that ceremony, like it is different. It is different. I wholeheartedly feel that way, that it's way different.
yeah.
That there's just no I'm leaving. I'm just gonna leave. Like actually no. And knowing that your partner means it too.
Yeah.
Knowing that your partner really means it too
Yeah.
is another, like Tucker Carlson said that once, and that really stuck with me, like that he's been married to the girl he dated in high school, and he was just his dad and his mom got divorced. His mom left when he was like 12 maybe, and him and his brother were really pissed off about that's just not how it should be. Adults suck. They shouldn't just get married, have kids, and then
Walk away.
say, I need to go find myself in France. That's just not fair. That's just not what you do. And we've committed, and we're doing this no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's really striking. Like, we're doing this no matter what.
Well, I think the problem is that, if you want to go and find yourself in France, why haven't you grown in the relationship? Why haven't you grown as yourself and been supported? We evolve constantly, and are we supporting our spouse truly through their changes and their growth and who they want to become? Or, I mean, a lot of couples that I see are constantly stuck in the same cycle of old versions of themselves, and they just hold on to resentment of their spouse because they're not changing. Well, neither are you.
Right.
And it's just this constant pattern, which over time builds so much resentment, and you just start to disconnect because you're not growing. You're unhappy. But it's because you're unhappy with who you are in your own life. I think that people assume that happiness comes from the other person, or I'll be happy when we finally do this, or I'll be happy when we get married, or I'll be happy when we buy the house. Happiness comes from inside. And if you're not happy and you're constantly seeking, you're always just going to be constantly seeking. You're never going to be happy.
Right.
I think that's a component to a lot of failed marriages too.
Yeah, I think that definitely plays a role in it as well.
I think learning that, and I keep realizing more and more how sacred marriage is and how much of a union it truly is. I think it's become almost like commercialized, like Love is Blind. Like it's almost like a game, who's actually going to do it, and then even how we've capitalized on it through the industry of the floral business and all these, like, I mean, just watching Love is Blind with the wedding and all, like, I'm like, how much money went into all these extravagant parties and lavish events. And anyways, that's not really what it's about. And it takes away, but a lot of people look forward to that.
Yeah, I actually know there's a lot of people that just get married to the wrong person, but because they want to have the right wedding. It's all about the day. 100%. My brother John, his first wedding, his first wife, Leona, oh my God. Some people will remember this reference, and it's that I've shown you before. I think I've even shown you before, but I don't know. The video from the Wild Pikes? And it was She Ain't Pretty, She Just Looks That Way. And it's this bar, and they're in this bar, and it's the worst video in the whole world, but it was the 80s or 90s. And there's this really hot chick, and all the guys like her, and then all of a sudden she turns around, and she's got like the face of a devil. And that was her. Like, she looked really pretty. This, like, Leona girl looked like that girl in the video. Really pretty, crazy curly, dark hair. But the first time she came to meet my parents, her mom came, and they were either Polish or Eastern European of some kind. And she had a marriage book, like a wedding book.
Oh, I had one.
Yeah, but before you met your partner?
Oh, no. No.
Yeah, like that's weird. This is like a book that they'd been making, and it was
dreaming
like
of, right? Like,
yeah, and the first time that they met my parents, I just remember them bringing this big book to the table, and my mom was like mortified. Like, what? They've only been dating for such a short period of time, and she's already got this wedding book. And anyways, like, just I don't even know how long after it was. Sorry to spill the tea, John, but she cheated on him. Like, I think it was like 6 weeks, maybe 6 months. It was 6 something. It was very soon, and he caught her cheating. So it was just all about the. It was just all about the marriage. It was all about the big day. Yo, they had a horse and buggy. I rode in a horse and buggy. Me and Mitch were like princes and princesses. Like we were like in like
a royal wedding.
the dress. He had like a little tuxedo. And yeah, we're in a horse and buggy.
Fairy tale. She was just building the fairy tale.
Yeah. And then they lived in a shitty apartment. Like, are you guys retarded? Like, you spent like 30 grand on a wedding. But, like, live in a rented, like, why not, like, you know what I mean? So stupid. People are so dumb. Coming from 2 people that got married in our backyard. I think we had a budget of $5,000. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was engaged before when I was 24, and I called off the wedding after we had put in a deposit on the venue. I had bought a dress.
What was the deposit on the venue?
I think it was $500.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not too bad.
And then I gave that deposit to my brother to use at the venue for his wedding. So
that I wasn't allowed to go to. But it wasn't about being gay.
Yep, it was.
Well, you were also married, right?
Nope.
You were in a common law.
Yeah, no. I was never married.
You were engaged.
Yeah, I was engaged with a ring that my mom bought. Yeah. So it never really felt very authentic to me, and that's that's part of why it doesn't work out. That's why I'm saying, like, it's so important, because if, like, there's no effort, there's no
intention.
You didn't save up to buy this. You didn't have these heartfelt feelings. It was more like, oh,
following what was
you're pregnant
next.
and this is what should happen, and your mom paid for this, and like
that's why I said yes and followed the course that I thought I was supposed to follow, which is like the natural evolution when you start dating somebody. Mm-hmm. Get a house, get a dog, get pregnant, or get married, get pregnant. And even though I knew none of it was right, I just kept. It was easier just to say yes and go with the flow rather than be scared of what.
Of course, me too. Obviously, right?
Yeah,
yeah. Obviously, that's
you get used to it. You just like that's the routine, and this is where I am. And
see, this is the problem with promiscuity too. This is why so many women get stuck in this rut, because no one wants to buy the ice cream when you're giving away the truck for free. And so, what's the point of having sex with men if there's no commitment, there's no selection process? It's just random, and then one happens to slip through the goalpost, and now you're tied, right? Whereas, like, if you had have been more selective in your,
well, you're giving yourself to somebody.
Right. If you had been more selective and not just, and made sure that the person that you were being intimate with was the right person for you.
Or who cared about you the way
you wanted to be cared about or deserved to be cared about, then it would, right? I mean, it's just a fact, man.
I don't know. I think the sexual liberation and like 90s hip hop really influenced sexuality and hypersexualized our generation.
We thought anybody that got married out of high school to their high school sweetheart was a loser.
Yeah.
Like, it's never going to work.
You need to have sex with lots of different people to figure it out. Yeah.
People thought I didn't have sex till I was like 22, 23. People thought I was out of my mind. Like, I was such a loser.
Well,
for waiting to have sex. Like,
I get it now.
Why would you do that? Why would
Patience
you do that?
is a virtue. I do believe, like,
only to have sex with a black guy from the Bahamas that had a wife and a baby and lied to me. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Island life.
Crazy.
Anyway, yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, back to leveling up your marriage. That's crazy though, right?
Jess, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
You go from
That's
like abstinence
crazy.
to that. Yeah.
Because you know what, man? Those guys and those island guys know how to talk to you.
Oh, they're suave.
I went from being like the chubby girl, big mouth. I hadn't quite found my confidence yet to being, when you go there, they know how to talk to you, man. They know what to say to you down in the islands. They know exactly
They
what
know
to say
how
to make
to
you feel good.
build you up.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was like, and then, you know, add the being a virgin on top of it and
Feeling
you're-
desired.
You're something to be conquested. Is that a word?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, that's crazy. That is crazy.
It's all part of your story, though. It's all part of you leading to here.
Yeah.
And us talking about leveling up your marriage.
Yeah.
Because that's how you learn. You learn what's important.
Yeah.
And also, like, I mean, I was very sexual.
And not to
in my
lose your
20s.
virginity to a black guy in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
That's not smart.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a lesbian and you're probably not really into it. And yeah, it was not pleasant.
That's how you figured it out.
Picture that. Or don't.
Don't. I won't. Stop it. Change the topic. Okay.
It's
Back.
like two pop cans trying to go into
Stop.
a...
Why do you always got to bring up the two pop cans?
That's how big it was.
I know, but not
You need
necessary.
to light a joint.
Okay.
All the listeners need to light a joint. And if you're a guy and you're listening and you have a big dick, oh my God. Go easy.
Is that your suggestion on how to level up your marriage? If you got a big dick, go easy.
Like, man, honestly, right? Guys are so retarded. Like, guys are so retarded. You'd think it would feel better for them, too, if it wasn't like, it's like, okay, if you're working on a car, why do you think we have lubricant everywhere? Like, all the stores sell multiple types of lubricant, and every guy knows all about the lubricants, and they've got a shop full of fucking lubricants, and they know that if they grease it first, it goes in a lot fucking smoother. So, Nikki D, you got to get down. You got to eat that pussy. I know you don't like to, but that's how you grease the wheels, bro.
That's so
It's
funny.
so, like, crazy.
That's
but
really
it's so
interesting.
true.
I never would have thought.
These guys just don't get it. And even guys like that, you know, they grow up, they get older. Like, you think after years of doing this that
They'd figure it out.
you'd figure it out.
Well, she's also got to communicate what she wants.
It's true. And, you know, I think that, you know, getting back to the topic of marriage is like, I think that really one of the major problems, I do think women are to blame in a lot of instances. But I think that the male role model has been really like cut down over the last 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that men know how to be men anymore and
I agree.
communicate.
I agree. I think the brotherhood, men healing, is going to be moving. It's going to be on the rise more and more. And I'm starting to see that coming out. Just like Sacred Sons groups and stuff. And they're creating a brotherhood and really traveling the world and showing men how to become men instead of, you know, boys in
Right.
A man's body.
Yeah, right? I mean, I think that's legit.
How to become alpha males, which is strong leadership,
Right.
full respect for the other person.
Yeah,
And to be that strong protector and space holder for their spouse.
right. Right. I think that men don't have the kind of, and again, women equal, but men don't have the leadership and they don't have the experience growing up with a father figure that was that person,
Right.
you know? So
Yeah.
that's a major problem. How are men supposed to know? And then what they have for role models are depending on, again, now I'm learning more about this, but again, depending on if you're conservative or liberal, right? Because if you're a conservative, you're going to be looking up to more hunters, bow hunters. Like, let's just give an example of what your feed might look like on Instagram if you're a conservative man, right? It might be more like Joe Rogan type guys, hunters, fighters,
And just
men, more male protectors,
Athletics.
of course. and machinery, mechanics, motorheads, that sort of thing. And if you're a more liberal, democratic guy, that feed would look more like
softer.
white men for Kamala, like beta losers that are little men that are into fashion. Like, okay, Ramses, whatever the hell that stupid guy's name is. The guy,
He's definitely beta.
That's a beta. Like that guy right there. He walks out in his little like outfit, whatever the hell that was, and his stupid pointy shoes and his little.
Well, his demeanor was very, very feminine, very soft, very gentle. Would follow along and then change his mind after, and that was like his pattern.
And he was super egotistical, really, like especially about all the birth control stuff and all that stuff. But anyway, what was I even talking about?
We went far on that one. I don't know.
Yikes. Anyway,
conservative
right.
men versus...
Okay. So that guy would be what that sort of kind of guy would be like. And so if that's what you grow up watching, these types of guys, then that's the way that you're going to act in relationships as you're getting older and progressing in life.
I think the feminist movement really impacted men, where they were more censored on like speaking up, because of like gender equality. And if you don't support gender equality, you're
you're like
wasn't not anti-woman,
a misogynist.
Misogynist.
Yeah.
Even today, like I can talk to some of my clients that are like I don't mean any harm. I don't mean like I don't love women. But and then they'll share their opinion, but they have to preface everything to say like I don't hate people. But I also don't agree with this DEI movement. And it started with the feminist movement.
Right.
It really impacted men because it forced them into a beta role and women into alpha energy. And if if women are in that alpha energy, they're in masculine energy and they are taking control. They are being the leader. They are delegating. And then men have to fall into the beta and just follow order. And then women are not attracted to that. Women don't want that primitively because that's not sexually what women would want in a partner. And so like that happens in a lot of marriages, and you put kids into the equation, and then there's a lot of stress, a lot of different schedules that they're trying to coordinate in a house. And then sexually, there's such a disconnect. Women don't want to be touched because if they feel like they give their husband a shoulder massage that he'll want sex, and usually men are probably like, yeah, oh my gosh, you want? Okay.
Well, and again, because women don't like their husbands typically. They don't touch them. They don't give them any attention. It's a vicious circle.
Well, and this is where...
Cycle. It's a vicious cycle constantly.
This is why leveling up your marriage requires so much effort. It requires both of you to constantly work at staying connected. And then as you also go through changes in who you become and job changes and you're morphing into a new being, you have to put effort again in how do we connect here? How do I support you where you are? How do I hold space for you? How do I embrace and build admiration still? How do we find ways to build ritual and bond? There's such a disconnect with couples. And I think, a lot of people turn to social media. They go home after a hard day's work. They're exhausted. They're in separate rooms on their devices. They're just so disconnected.
Yeah.
And in order to rebuild connection, you have to start coming back into yourself and then back in together as a couple.
Right.
One of the things that we do is we always build rituals. We always have rituals of connection. And we do that with, morning coffee. We get our chores done. We go and do our thing, dog walk, whatever. But we always sit together and we have time to decompress, reconnect, talk about our day, reflect on whatever.
There's people that don't do that like weekly.
Ever.
Or like there's people that don't sleep in the same bedroom, get up at different times. And then like Man, I know like I have a great shop, but I just would rather whenever usually Jen's done work, I would rather be inside with the family, right? Usually, like, I mean, sometimes
Yeah,
it is what it is,
connecting.
but usually we try to be together. But I know a lot of guys that spend their entire lives outside in those shops
Hiding.
all night long.
Hiding.
And that's just no way. That's just no way to live. I lived in a life where I didn't want to be at home, so I know what that's like, and it's not something that I would wish upon anybody
No.
or ever want. It's a terrible way to live. So how
No.
can the people that are living in that way, because there's so many people that live that way, is it too late?
It's never too late. Your story's your story to write. It depends on what you want and how much effort you want to put into something.
I think it's too late. If you're sleeping in different bedrooms and you're spending as much time as you can away, I think it's too late. But talk to me why it's not too late.
I think I've seen people that have divorced, gone through their own other life chapter, and then have come back together.
That's cool.
I think
Yeah, that's cool. We know one couple that did that, and I think that's fucking cool.
I think it's amazing. And I think there's no black and white rule book on how to live life.
Yeah.
It's literally yours to create. So what does your next chapter want to be, right? You are the author of your book. I think it just requires a lot of effort. And just like our own health, you have to put effort into your own health to become healthier and happier. Same goes with your marriage. You have to put effort into showing up in the marriage, to trying to communicate better, to show love, admiration, to speak your partner's love language. It requires connection. But it's one of the things that I'm learning more and more is that we have a heart connection. We have like this strand, this energetic strand from our hearts. And I have one with Abby I can feel. Hers is yellow. Sorry, yours is yellow and hers is a light blue. And I can feel when our hearts are disconnected or weak, because we may be in an argument or
Maybe you were in a menopausal moment or something.
you shut it. Or you're just focused on Candace Owens stuff and you're in a whole other thing and
Kamala
I'm completely in
Harris
a...
is it could be the president of the United States in 2 weeks and she's fucking not black. So yes,
I know.
focused on that.
So you got lots on your mind. And then I'm focusing on a bunch of other stuff that I got lots on my mind. Our connection's weaker. Okay? But when we come together and we sit down for dinner, we say a prayer and we join back together to laugh and play, it strengthens again.
Right.
So it's connection. It's heart connection.
Right.
So when couples have been so disconnected, their strand is so thin, but doesn't mean you can't repair it.
Yeah.
It just requires effort to continuously show up. I think the major reason why couples fail or separate is because they have unmet expectations of their spouse. And so even in the process of reconnecting and repairing, there's so much expectations that, hey, well, I'm doing it different. Why aren't you doing it different?
Right.
I'm trying. You're not trying. It's still in that comparison
Right.
state. And it just continues to create more separation.
Right.
Repairing and... Go
Sorry.
ahead.
I was just going to...
There's my Mika. Okay, lay down. Lay down.
No, keep talking. I was going to say something that would get me into trouble anyway, but...
Do you want to just say it?
Well, I do think that sometimes, like, there are...
Okay, find your spot. What are you going to say?
No, let's move on.
Okay.
Go
Well,
back. Yeah.
okay. To rebuild, repair. I can hear Mika on your microphone, Jess. Oh my God, this dog. Come lay down.
Come on. Sit. Okay. Go ahead.
Repairing.
We're good.
I don't know where I'm going now. I'm too distracted from this dog.
Stupid dog. Goddamn
She
dog.
needs attention. She wants airtime. Literally.
Anyway, I was like saying something like, can it be repaired and how can it be prepared? How can it be repaired? But so you were saying connect, like having to show up every day consistently is how you can move forward. And I see that. I think that's true. I think that's possible. I just think sometimes people dwell in the past so much that they can't get over the resentment of what has happened. Right? Like,
yes,
whatever it is.
That's because there's never been repair. If couples are constantly going back to the past, they've never repaired.
Right.
So they've just kind of just moved on and held on to that.
Right.
They've never actually healed that wound together.
Yeah.
So that comes up all the time when couples sling mud or pull up the past in an argument.
This is my favorite. Can we talk about slinging mud for a moment? Because I want to talk about slinging mud.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
If we're doing a show about this, we should be real about it. And Jen always talks about slinging mud and how you can't. She'd be like, "But you're slinging mud. You can't say that. You can't bring up the past." Or is that what it is? Bringing up the past? That's slinging mud. Is that right? Right?
Yeah, you want to stay on the same topic.
But then Jen has no problem bringing up the past. But then you say, I will always say, you can't do that. You can't sling mud. You're slinging mud. And then she'll say, no, I'm just telling you what happened. No, I'm just telling you this is important. This is a reference. Don't turn my mic down. Turn it back up. Well, I don't like how it sounds now. Give me more. Yeah, there we go. She can pull away her one of your phones if she needs to.
Anyways, slinging mud. Fuckface. Jeez. I'm totally menopause and I don't care. I'm like this whole other like.
See, this is what I want to talk about. This is what I wanted to talk about. Yeah. But this is what I wanted to talk about. But I thought I better not because I'm going to get myself into trouble. But see, this is the thing. Women fucking rage.
Yeah.
And she's sitting here saying, men and it's both, and maybe it's not. Maybe it's just she's in fucking menopause and she's fucking raging, and the poor guy can't fucking say one thing or another. It's not gonna matter.
No, he can't.
She wants to fucking chop his fucking balls off with an axe. No doubt about it.
Oh yeah, when I'm in full rage, I could kill you.
And I haven't done a fucking thing. Like I haven't done. I'm just breathing. Just living my life. Come on, let's go. What is it? See? Does it always have to stem from me? Or could it just be, let's be real. Can you?
Are we back on slinging, what?
Can you?
Are we on slinging mud?
No,
or are you talking about my rage?
Women raging. I'm asking you to acknowledge, if you can take ownership, if you can just acknowledge that there are times that menopausal women fly off the fucking handle for absolutely nothing, and their husbands have done nothing
I never
wrong.
said we didn't.
That's like a Kamala Harris answer right there. If she doesn't want to say too much, she doesn't want to acknowledge that she could have fixed the problems under Joe Biden, but that she didn't, but that as soon as she gets into office, she'll do it, but she won't say it. So there you have it. And that's a thing. This is a thing that I do feel sorry for men. I think men are fucking retarded. They don't eat pussy enough. They don't eat it well. They don't take the time to know women's bodies, and they can be fucking lazy motherfuckers. But sometimes women are just fucking raging in menopause, and there is not a goddamn thing you can do about it.
They are hormonal.
Women.
Okay. During perimenopause, it's even more enhanced. Which, if you already struggle with your luteal phase, which is your PMS, then during perimenopause, it's more amplified. Anyways, I know when I'm raging. I know.
No, you don't.
Well,
you don't know. You blame me. No, you don't. You blame me. You get angry with me, and then generally within a shorter period of time, it's not crazy, you come in and you start giggling, and then you come in for a hug after You've yelled at me and made me feel very bad for doing absolutely nothing and questioning who I am as a person. Oftentimes, to be quite frank.
I know, but then I laugh. I can come back and laugh and apologize.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
in
Do
the
you, Laura?
moments,
Do you think so?
in the moments, I like the other day when I was like this. I literally was kind of giggling to myself while raging. Like, 'cause it was almost like uncontrollable energy coming through me.
No, this is not what it is. This is female manipulation. That's exactly what this is. And here's the thing. I can speak to this because I'm a female. Sometimes when we're fighting, I literally think, okay, she doesn't understand that I am a woman. Like, I am in my masculine more, but she does not understand that I am a woman, and these tools that she's using and these weapons are weapons that I also own and use and can detect. And so she tries to put it on me, and I'm like, this is what I would do. This is how I would manipulate the situation. I know exactly what she's doing, but I also sometimes respond as the man where I'm just like, I'm sorry. Sometimes I just pick my battles and I just say, yep, my bad, I'm so sorry. Even though, fuck you, I did not fucking do anything wrong, but I'm just too smart to want to get into it with you right now because I'd like to have sex later.
And that's a really good masculine response.
Yeah, but you know what? I appreciate the men like myself. Not that I am a man, but I can appreciate the men that can only do that so many fucking times, Jen.
You know what?
Without having a win. You got to have a win now and then where you're like I'll just say to you, you know what? No, I'm not playing along today. And then she gets even more pissed if you've called her out on it. So men, this is not advice to call out women on this. I'm just saying that sometimes I can't just say, you're right, honey. My bad. Sometimes I have to say, I'm calling your fucking bluff. You're being a bitch right now. This is not me. This is you. And then, which makes you rage even more. That's not a good thing to do. Yeah, bad news. But then, if I'm lucky, she'll come back in and do the giddy thing and say, you're right. It just depends on if, you know.
Okay, think of how many people struggle to come back. That's what I'm saying.
Actually, you're really good at coming back. I'm not so good at coming back. Jen is the glue that has us coming back because I would rather I'll just go out in my shop. I will be the guy that just goes out to my shop. If she's mad at me, I'm just like, I'm going to my shop and I'm working. And I really I'll go to the bathroom in our outdoor bathroom. I won't come in the house. I won't eat. Whatever I need to fuel or consume is in my shop and I'll be fine.
And that right there is how you pull your heart away.
Yeah.
So when we're protecting ourselves, we literally block and then we pull our heart away to also like protect ourselves, but also to hurt the other person because we're hurting ourselves.
Right.
That's why, so a lot of people struggle with repair coming back. I mean, that's part of my own learning too, of feeling a sense of humility and vulnerability and being able to come back and own it and then be able to laugh at myself, especially when it's like, I know I'm like hormonal raging. I get that.
I've almost had a heart attack and a stroke, but we're laughing now. So that's great.
Hey, listen, you're a woman too. I received too from your stuff.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And in fact,
Sometimes.
when we first started dating each other and we started realizing, oh, we've never experienced this with another woman that where they're cycling and I have to like, oh, that's why we're fighting.
Well, we were also fighting because you were in menopause, perimenopause, and you were pretty ragey. So that could have been another reason why. No? I mean, no, maybe not.
Well, yes, probably. That and your site. Anyways, it's way more complicated with two women. I'm not going to, it's way more complicated with a lot of hormones. But for a heterosexual couple that have pulled away, it's no different. The repair is no different.
No, it's not. But I can see why a lot of lesbian couples, why there is such a high divorce rate in lesbian couples. And abuse rate, by the way.
Yeah.
By the way, there's a higher spousal abusal rate in lesbians than heterosexuals. I'm pretty sure. Yeah? Am I right? Check that. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure.
For gays, I don't know if it's just lesbians.
I actually do think it's lesbians, but you can check. But what I was saying in that was just that I do think that it can be more difficult for same sex. There's also a huge divorce rate in gay men as well, because they get physical. Like it's
Yeah.
easier to fight. It's easier, and often they have they're coming from traumatic backgrounds. Like let's face it.
Well, and look, men have a hard time. They go to anger right away because they have higher testosterone, and if they don't have a place to channel their sexual energy,
Right.
That sexual energy, that it's going to come out as rage as well, but it can become more violent because they're often going into the fight response. So they might throw something, and they're naturally bigger and stronger, and so
Yeah, and women can be quite good at and again, I'm not ever advocating for for violence against women. I obviously believe XXXY. I don't condone any of that. However, I'm just saying that women are also very good at antagonizing men
absolutely
into positions of.
Well, if a woman is, and I get this because I'll antagonize when I want to fight because I'm agitated because shit's starting to build up in me, and I'll pick a fight. Women will do that.
Yes, they will.
Women will do that. Men will do that too.
Of course, but I'm just making the point that it's not, that women can be, I could see why. I've seen some videos and thought I could see why you did that. Of women hitting a man multiple times over and over and over and over and over, and then finally he just bam. Well, I mean, you hit me 6 times in the face. I don't know. I think I'm going to push you out of my way at some point in time.
You're
You know
both
what I mean?
you're both in your stress response.
Whatever.
You're both in fight or flight. So anyways, it's going to.
Anyway, yeah, no, I think that that's a very interesting part of relationships, is pushing buttons and getting people
And repairing.
aroused and repairing. Oh yeah, we're talking about repairing.
Yeah, let's just stay focused on this, because in order for couples to level up, and there is not enough repair. So if there is a fight, conflict, one person's feeling hurt or something happened, and there's never any resolution, you never come back together and bring your hearts fully back together, there's always going to be that underlying problem.
Right.
Which, and then another underlying
It's like an onion.
problem.
That's interesting. It's like a layer. It's just
You're
like another,
adding.
yeah.
You're building
It's
up
like
layers.
backwards.
Yeah.
Interesting. You're adding layers.
Yeah.
Because then you'll always be like, remember that time? Remember that time?
Oh yeah, I'm
Remember
going to keep
time?
that one in
Remember
my
that
back
time?"
pocket and throw it at you later.
Because we've never talked about it. Like yesterday I was hurt because we're very good in communicating in that way. And I do think that that's very important. Yeah. What about the couples that don't ever have any issues? Do you think that there's someone's hiding something there?
No, I think that there's, if a couple says, "Oh, we never fight," then I'm like, well, how honest are you guys being then?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
How much communication's actually happening?
Right.
How much are you both just kind of people pleasing, both going with the flow? Because stuff's going to start to come out because you guys you're not being real honest.
Right.
I think natural conflict, natural challenges are inevitably going to arise in a relationship. It's how you get through it is what builds resiliency as a couple.
Right.
And when couples don't repair and they don't come to resolution after conflict, it will continue to break that heart bond. So in order to re-strengthen it, you have to start putting effort back into showing up.
Right.
Back into listening, back into caring about your partner, back into really, really caring about them.
Do you feel like I really care for you?
Yeah.
That's a quicker yes than the first time. Remember the first episode we had, and we had that one reel where...
Oh, that's funny. See, we've been working. We've been leveling up. No?
Yeah, no, but for real though, you feel that way? Do you
Yeah.
feel? Because sometimes I feel like one time I texted Alora last week because you were mad at me, but it might have been a ragey day for you too. I don't know. It was kind of hard to say, but because I didn't make dinner, you were really mad at me. But dinner was heating up, leftovers, and I was gonna do it when you were done work, but you were done work and I hadn't started.
It was a half an hour and you were still outside and I was waiting for you to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm still annoyed. Not that about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not like still harboring that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's when you commit and you agree to do something.
Mm-hmm.
That's the expectation then.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, I get carried away working, you know, and I feel like I get resentful when Jen wants to have dinner before the sun goes down.
Yeah, well, that's part of the family bond that when dinner's at this time,
Mm-hmm.
we ring a bell for anybody outside,
Mm-hmm.
aka just you. And we do 10-minute warning, Jess. Bells going, Jess.
They're like, she's being dramatic. That's not exactly true every day. No, there's no like not a
Not
10-minute
every
warning,
time,
but like
but enough where you get so immersed in your thing that you didn't grow up sitting down at a dinner
No.
table.
like no, I did not. That's the thing. It is interesting because I know it's a lot of my habits. Because my dad was a workaholic. My dad ate whenever my dad ate. Like there was no sit down together and eat. It just didn't happen.
So part of how we're building our values in our family, Avi and I we love our family dinner time where we can just sit and chat and take our time and catch up. And we really value that. And so when you don't come to the table on time, it's hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
And not because you're trying to hurt us.
No, I get it. It's like what my dad was talking about with my grandfather
Yes,
in the garden,
exactly.
right? And like my grandma worked to make the dinner, and
Mhm.
everybody's sitting down, but he's not there
Mhm.
because he's busy with the tomatoes,
Mhm.
right? I mean, I get that.
So you're healing that
Mm-hmm.
lineage when you show up at the
Yeah.
table. Eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the moment, like I just have an obsession. It just feels so important. I'm cutting the fucking grass. I'm building something. I'm doing something. Yeah. No, but your priority should be family. Your
Well, that's
priority
how you
should
level
be-
up your marriage is that
Yeah.
what are you prioritizing giving your energy to? Your
Yeah.
energy is literally currency.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah. I mean, I've come a long way, right?
Yeah, you have.
Like I've made a lot of effort to do that cuz I know it's important.
Hmm. Well, it strengthens our bond. It strengthens our relationship with
Mhm.
like a family relationship.
Mhm.
Strengthens all of our bonds because now we're all in harmony.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I did feel bad that day, but I also didn't want to go in the house because I was afraid of her. So you were like, you should just go.
Yeah,
And
because
like,
I was raging.
Laura was like, you
Yeah.
should just go in the house. And I was like, no, I don't want to go in the house. It's better to just stay away.
So this is kind of an interesting point. When one partner is angry and the other person pulls away, it's going to create more. It can create more disruption.
Mm-hmm. I know, because as soon as I did go in and then apologize and reconnect, then everything was like, you're happy, I'm happy, because the energy has like.
Diffuse.
Sometimes it's just I appreciate like why men don't want to reconnect right away because women's energy is so strong and scary sometimes that you just don't feel.
But this is where, if you're in divine masculine energy, you can hold space for that.
Mm-hmm.
That is what a protector does. You hold space.
Yeah, but I'm not a man, and your energy is ragey sometimes.
I know, but that's where it's harder in a same-sex relationship because
sometimes I'm good. Like sometimes I mean I think I do hold space.
you do.
I think I do, but there are days where I'm just like.
Look, if you don't have capacity, a lot of people don't always have capacity.
Yeah.
Like because of, they've had a really hard day, they're exhausted and then they still have to show up 100% when they don't have when their battery's at like 20.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard expectation to meet.
But doing it on a regular basis is very important. So everyone's going to have an off day.
Mm-hmm.
But it is really important to show up
Mm-hmm.
every day. And that's an easy way for guys to get laid.
Hey, you know what? I want to talk about in heterosexual relationships, and this is heavily in regards to the feminist movement, but women wanting to have friendships with men while married to a man.
Mm-hmm.
And if a man struggles with that connection between a woman and another man, how much security, like women might say, well, I'm allowed to have friends. You have to trust me. And I get that. But I also think that there is something around real safety and security around having friends in the same sex
Right.
versus the opposite sex when you're in
What
heterosexual.
about when you're a dyke?
Adds a lot more complications.
It's right.
But it's still like you have to have so much security in yourself and in your partner.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's interesting because a lot of like Christian couples
Yeah.
are showing up more with saying we have more friends of the same sex rather than the opposite sex to foster more security in the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see how it can create challenges because in couples counseling, if there is not a solid foundation between the married couple and the woman has a man that's a best friend and now she's getting her emotional needs met through another man, she might start to feel more of a connection to him.
Yeah.
And then sexually as well, because her emotional
Yeah.
needs are now being met through another man.
Mm-hmm.
That could obviously create tension in the marriage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyways, it's an interesting complexity that I think is interesting for a lot of Christian couples. Like I've watched videos of couples saying like, this is the way that we foster security in our marriage is that we keep this strongest first.
Well, it's pretty common for couples to have affairs. Like
Yeah.
I just heard of a couple from my old days that had an affair, and I just think that's pretty common, unfortunately.
Well, I think that's when a couple's gotten so far down the road of separating or like being very disconnected that they start looking for their needs to be met somewhere else.
Yeah.
And if, say, one couple's working really hard in their relationship and trying to show up as the best version of them, and the other person isn't doing their work, even bigger disconnect starts to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also a tough reality because it can also lead to separation.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't force
somebody to do their work.
somebody to do the work.
No.
Yeah, that's tough.
But ways that we have leveled up our marriage is repairing and quickly after.
Yeah.
We saw this video on Instagram. I loved this. A guy was doing a presentation on marriage, and he said one of what we do is when we're starting to get into a conflict, we yell, "Get down," or on the floor, and they both lay down on the floor. So they disarm themselves when they do that, right? You're literally disarming yourself rather than getting into protective stances, and then you're just like looking at each other. And it changes your perspective immediately. We've done that once, and all we did was just laugh. And it broke the energy up right away. And then we could talk and be back into our critical thinking minds.
Yeah. It actually is kind of funny to do that.
Yeah.
Because I was really mad, and I was hesitant, like I didn't want to do it. She was pissing me off. And then she got down, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, she's on the ground. I have to get down.
It worked.
Yeah.
It does work. I would say that the biggest thing that couples need to do after conflict in order to repair, you literally have to bring your hearts back together.
Mm-hmm.
You have to hug.
Yeah. You know, there's people that would wait weeks. Like I know my parents, it would be weeks.
Wow.
Before you're having a conversation again after a fight. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Like for us, it's like hours, if even.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just can't handle the
I don't want to be stressed all day.
I can't handle the energy of like being in a fight. It's just not going to happen.
I think the more that we repair faster and faster, the more that I'm recognizing how much wear and tear it does, the longer you stay in that disconnect.
Oh, 100%.
Like it
100%.
literally wears and tears on you. And so all the couples that just never repair and they just keep moving on, they start to live separate lives, become more of roommates. They just become like maybe co-parents.
That's a lot of people.
And that's a lot of people. And they turn to social media as a way, or drinking or food as ways to fill the void. But the real thing is, how are you reconnecting with your spouse? Every day you should be connecting with your spouse. Every day. Like if we don't go to bed together, I would have a hard time with that, because that's where our hearts are very close then. So we're connecting in our sleep.
There's a lot of people that don't even sleep in the same beds, let alone go to bed at the same time. And then I bet I would love to know the number of people that fall asleep to TV. So like one person has the TV on, and whether one's watching or both are watching, whatever, doesn't matter. But that's like, to me, that's like a sin. It's like pretty rare that we have the TV on. We don't have a TV, but like a laptop or something like that. But it's pretty rare that would ever happen.
Yeah.
Like to fall asleep to it is like never. Like that would, but there's a lot of people that have it on all night long.
Or they need it to fall asleep.
That's what I mean. And just it like stays on.
Well,
It's
that's
crazy.
a sign that there's a lot of dysregulation, right? That's usually trauma. I need something to keep me from thinking or being on my own. I need to be distracted right to sleep. It becomes a really unhealthy coping mechanism.
Yeah.
And leads to further detachment with intimacy.
Right.
And so that's going to create more problems in the long run, for sure.
Yeah.
I think in order to level up your marriage, you have to level up yourself first. You have to start taking really good care of yourself, because the amount of effort you put into your marriage is the same amount of effort you're putting into your own well-being. And if you're only showing up as 20% in the marriage, like that's not a lot to give.
Yeah.
How do you, it's hard to grow from that. But if you're showing up, more into like 80%, and every day I'm like, I'm doing better. I'm trying to take care of myself, trying to eat. I'm trying to move. I'm trying to relax, right? I'm trying to sit more in gratitude and maybe sit more in prayer. Trying to connect more instead of turn off. And then you start doing that in the marriage.
Yeah.
Right? Your marriage will start to flourish. Your marriage will start to be a really solid and yet creative, expansive relationship.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that get married and then they think that they've done the work is done. I think there's a lot of guys that do that. They get, well, women too. No offense, women, but I see a lot of you getting fat. I see a lot of you getting married and then having one kid and then like letting yourself go, bro. And it's like,
but that's like, how much are you showing up for yourself?
That's what I mean, though. Yeah. But like, that's what I mean. I see a lot of it both ways, but I do see a lot of men getting married and just that's the goal. Oh, okay, I have a wife now. I'm good, right? And they stop. Like I always hear that, like never stop dating your wife. I always think that's really sweet.
Yeah. I always
like opening doors, carrying
chivalry.
Things like
really caring for each
other, in
thinking
in
about
all
the other
ways.
person.
Yeah.
I think of like when I was a barista back in the day at Starbucks, and there was always this older couple that would come in, retired couple, and they were so sweet. They would still hold hands. They'd buy a coffee to drink there in their mugs, and then they would get a muffin to share with each other. And they'd sit and they'd still be chatting, lots to talk about, lots to laugh over. And they cared so much about each other, right to that old age.
Right.
The moment we stop caring about the other person, we're starting to pull away.
Right.
Right. Building admiration in each other, like building the fondness of like, I love those little quirky things that you do or that you say, and it just makes me laugh, like just acknowledge, like looking at those are important on how you just your characteristics to enjoy them. I think a lot of people focus on
my big mouth.
I'm pissed off that you didn't take out the garbage, or I'm pissed off that you missed this. And we'll ruminate on the negative thing or what we determine as negative about the other person. And yet you did like 1,000 wonderful things in that day. And all I'm focusing on is that one negative thing. Right. And if you keep doing that, that's your pattern. That's your brain developing a really strong neural pathway that's all you're thinking about is the negative things about the other person.
Like the other day that I criticized you for not sealing the coffee bean bag correctly.
Sealing
The coffee bean bag correctly when I should have thought of the 1,000 other things that you did so lovely for me that day.
Great example.
Yeah.
Great example.
Yeah.
Good job. Okay, final thoughts on any other advice or suggestions on that you can think of how people can level up? Like just little things.
Yeah, I think those little things are so important. Like holding hands, so important. Looking at each other.
Eye contact. Yeah.
Right? Sleeping together.
Putting your phone down and really listening.
Yeah. Sleeping together, going to bed together.
At the same time.
Yeah, at the same time.
Having a ritual where you're connecting each day, whether maybe that's playing a game, going for a walk together, having a tea together, coffee.
Yeah, I don't think that there has to be any big, expensive thing. It's just really time and dedication.
And the conscious awareness, like conscious effort of saying one thing in a day that you're grateful about your spouse. Like, thank you so much for taking out the garbage. I'm really grateful that you helped out with the dogs today. Wow, you did such a great job cutting the grass. The property looks beautiful.
She never says that to me.
I do say that almost every single time.
I'm just kidding. She does.
Anyways, it's all a work in progress, but I think that's exactly it. The adversities, the hardships are exactly what builds a resiliency.
Yeah.
Whether that's in ourselves or as a couple.
Yeah, but it's every day. You have to do it every day. That's where I think people miss.
Yeah.
They let it go and let it go and let it go and let it go until...
Or just keep seeking, grass is always greener on the other side.
Right.
Right? Grass is green where you water it.
Yeah. On that note.